All right, we're back to talk about Put a Ring on It, episode 4. We're going to dig into who's insecure, who has the Cat Williams voice. We might be talking about the same person there, and a lot of other things. So make sure you come back right after the jump, all right? All right, well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is, of course, Conversation with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and anything else we choose to. This video is all about, of course, one of our favorite shows, Put a Ring on It, episode 4.
Yes, I believe so.
All right. So for everybody that is normally here with us, listen, we had some things going on as far as dropping kids off at college. So we missed an episode, but forgive us. We're back on point. Well, don't forgive us. It's not like we did anything wrong.
Right.
Life, right?
Right.
All right. But let's kind of jump into, there's a lot that's happened. We can talk about the fact that last episode 3, they did the double dates where they were all in the same location.
Right.
Lots of craziness happened off of that, but we'll just kind of jump into episode 4. And we were left with a cliffhanger where LaRonda is now having to choose whether or not she wants to go on a date with Sir James. My wife loves that name, by the way. And I'm saying that sarcastically. Sir James, as if maybe his brother's called Mr. James and his sister's called Ma'am James. I don't know what.
I don't know. I get it, but hey, to each his own.
Right.
That brother got to live with his name.
He got to live with his name. All right. But yeah, she does go on the second date with Sir James, and Sean goes on his second date with Brittany, was her name?
Correct. I think Brittany was her name.
And they were both, let's just be honest, being kind of petty.
Yeah, they're being kind of petty. I think we need to stop the tit for tat. We just need to say, hey, I'm in this process. You know, it's funny how we want to change, but then we don't want to change.
Yeah.
It's human nature.
Right.
But it's like, okay, how are we going to let down our guards? How are we going to really, bring something out of this process? So no matter how they started, guess what? They went out on the second day.
Yeah. And Sean made this statement that I was like, dude, your insecurity rag is showing big time. He's like, I was concerned. I couldn't focus on he said he couldn't focus on his date with Brittany because he was concerned for the safety of LaRonda, as if she was like being thrown in a trunk, being kidnapped and gaffled somewhere, right? He's like, I was concerned for her safety, dude.
I mean, we cover up, right? What we really feel, we use other excuses to determine what to justify how we feel.
Right.
Well, in this case, he's more insecure because, it wasn't his hand on your lower back. He touching on you. So the point I think you just need to realize, just calm down.
Right.
Production is not going to get a serial killer.
Right.
So enjoy your date.
Right. I'm not as concerned. I mean, there's some other shows that I'm concerned about their vetting process. At this point, I'm not that concerned about the vetting process for Put a Ring on It.
Right.
So, it is what it is. I don't, I get, of course it was awkward being there while your significant other's on another date.
Dating and
but
kikiing with somebody
I'm concerned about her safety, dude. That's just, no. All right. So, and even Dr. Nicole begins to call them out on their body language, how they are kind of going back and forth.
Yeah, rolling the
eyes and all stuff. So. All right. And then Alexia says that she wants Darian to go on a third date with Kai. Mm-hmm. Now, take note. She says she wants him to go on a third date, right? Okay. You rewind back to this moment when we get a little bit later in this video. All right. So then what we find out is that Alexia and Eric are not going on dates this time.
Right.
Everyone else is going on dates, repeat dates, it looks like, right? So Eric is in the car with Jessica, having a conversation. He calls Clarence just a big muscle, which I thought was funny.
Yes, I thought that was hilarious, because that's how he's defining him.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, let me enjoy my time in this process, We can always look at someone else that's trying to jeopardize our relationship, if you could say that, and we're demeaning that other person to make ourselves look better or attractive to who we're in relationship with. So It's hilarious.
It was kind of comical. All right. So then Darian and Alexia meet with Dr. Nicole. And
yeah.
Well, even I'm sorry. Before that, though, we see Darian and Alexia having a conversation, and he talks about when they're talking about their relationship and what have you. Right. He says he feels that he should have a better sex life. That it was spicy. It looks like at first, and then through time, age, whatever.
Right.
He feels like it needs to be cranked back up.
Right.
And then something comes out that I was like, okay, that might be part of the problem right there.
Right.
Is that they have this second condo, I guess, in downtown Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And so he goes there when things are kind of not well at home, or she calls it his doghouse. Mm-hmm. And so there she feels like because when he goes there, there's these gaps in time where she doesn't know what's happening.
Right.
And so now all of these thoughts are popping off that is he cheating? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? And so he kind of comes back at her about the fact that she's got these guy friends, who are seem to be all up in her IG DMs and whatnot, sending her heart eyes and stuff,
emojis and stuff. So I think they both are not listening, and communicating well, right? Mm-hmm. So he thinks he's being accused of something. He's saying, "Dude, you're not communicating. You tell me that you're going to stop by a restaurant, bring something home, and then you don't show up to the next day."
Right.
So she's not thinking you're kidnapped. She's thinking you doing what you're doing.
Right.
So she's trying to say, well, it brings me to paint a picture that, well, did another girl get your attention? Did something happen? Because she's feeling like that's the only thing that's going to keep you from home is somebody else taking up your time.
Right.
So he's not hearing that, right?
Right.
He's just hearing you're accusing me of cheating.
Right.
And then when he tries to come back, like, okay, I get if you're trying to say there's a woman, what about the dudes when I'm looking at your IG? They're throwing all these subliminal messages that they want to get with you, and you thinking they're your brother, and they're like, nah, you ain't my brother, but if you ever let go, dude, I want to be next.
Let me just say, game recognized game, right? So listen, I can tell who's just a friend,
right,
and who wants to be more than a friend,
right? Who wants to be the next,
right? So we lost Biz Marquis this week, right? You got what I need, but you say he's just a friend. That's exactly what we're feeling right now, right?
Right, and so none of them are hearing each other. And then she said, "Why I'm going to give? Like I would give it up, but why am I going to give it up?"
Right.
If I feel like you can't communicate to tell me what's going on when you say you're going to bring chicken home and chicken don't come home when you get back at 8 a.m.
Yeah. Waffle House is not that. Waffle House is a little, but they don't take that long,
It don't
right?
take that long.
All right. So then Darian does go out on his third date with Kai. And it's a cool little date. They go out, looks like go-kart racing, what have you. And then they have a conversation, and she asks the question, if Alexia told Darian to stop seeing Kai, would he do that? And he said no. Nope, not going to do it. Nope. This is part of the process.
Yep.
This is what's happening.
Yeah.
He says that Kai fits the description for what he would want, what he's kind of liking.
Right.
But here's the thing. Kai recognizes that Darian loves Alexia.
Right.
So I think that, when we're looking at that, I think that, and I know some of y'all have some opinion about Darian and how he communicates. Yes, he has some communication issues, in my opinion, right? But I think that if it's obvious to Kai, who is checking for him, right? If it's obvious to her that he has feelings still for Alexia, that there's something there that maybe they're just not on the same page, right? As we talked about.
We can see that's obvious. They're just not on the same page, and they're getting in each other's way.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they have a good friendship, Kai and Darian. It's like he can like bounce stuff off of her, And
here's the thing. He has peace when he's with her.
Right.
Let me just say this. If a man does not feel that he has peace where he's at, if it's constantly conflict, then yes, a place that offers him some peace is going to be very appealing.
Right. Exactly. You're right.
If all our conversations are you're nagging, you're doing this, it's why don't you do that, and I go to a place and the conversation is, how's your day?
Right.
What's going on with you?
Right.
What? Tell me about this.
Right.
That to a man, let's just be honest.
Yeah, you're right.
Provides it's appealing.
Right.
Because I don't have the stress of
right.
the everyday that we're seeing,
what you're dealing with. Right. Makes sense.
So we'll see how that plays out.
Yep.
And then Brittany and Sean go on their second date. He meets her at the studio. I don't know what it is. Now, this is the vetting process that I'm a little concerned about. Is that you got the first guy that tried to rewrite the Put a Ring on It song that went on the date with, who was it, LaRonda? And now you have this young lady in the studio. She's doing a little song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think they want to show people in their element.
Right.
So that the person that they're going out with, they can see how they, they're matched. They're both entertainers. So he gets to see her live. But they have this great conversation, right? And then, for him, he's like, wow, we seem to be alike. We seem to have things in common. Oh, this is scary. So I'm going to leave.
Gotta go.
To me, that's concerning too. I think you should know your boundaries.
Right.
But why can't you have a good conversation with someone you can like and it be a friend?
Right.
I think sometimes we go too fast for saying, oh, this can turn sexual, different things like that. But again, that takes maturity, right? That takes saying, like, I can have a good conversation with someone I'm attracted with, but that doesn't mean I'm going to end up in bed with them. Right.
And can we be honest? I think that there's a dual insecurity happening with Sean. I think he's insecure about his relationship with LaRonda, but I also think that what we're seeing is that he's insecure about how he responds to someone that is not LaRonda. Because the very first date that he went on, he was like, this is almost perfect. I ain't going to do this again.
Right.
So he has this immaturity or insecurity about, I don't know if I can say no, or if I will fall too hard, too fast.
Right.
So rather than try and figure that out, I'm going to pull out and get out of the situation before it turns even worse.
Right. And I think that's something that he may need to explore, because if, like we found out very quickly in the episodes, he didn't want to be like his dad.
Right.
So if you're always comparing yourself to your dad because your dad left your mom for other women, if it's all in the back of your head, I'm like my father, however that came, if someone else put that on him or he took it on himself, then when it comes to relations, like, well, I don't want to do like my father, so I'm not going to even entertain anything with another lady.
Yeah. All right. And then Jessica and Clarence go out on a second date.
Yes. So... Okay, so I'm like, wow, they never even got to the point where he tells her that he was divorced. So she wants him to take off his shirt.
Because she's thirsty.
She's thirsty. Well, he said he was a bodybuilder. I get it. So, but when he does, what? Who's Dana? He's like, hold on, let's get off the bike.
Right.
Let's talk about this. So they're kind of talking about his past. So it's like, okay, it takes a second date to get, those things out. All right, great. And so I'm concerned that her first motive, she starts it out to me as being more subjective, more sexual, and looks, than really finding out what's going on with this dude and getting deepness. That's my opinion.
Well, because when we were watching it, you said, she objectifies him, but then she complains about being objectified.
Right, by Eric.
Right? So it's like you can't have it both ways.
Can't have it both ways.
So, they can't get to the heart of who they are as individuals. For, let's say, for Jessica and for Clarence, she can't really get to know who he is if she just sees the physical and doesn't. Because if it takes a second date to get past that, when this process is not designed to be that way, it is designed, let's investigate. So if your first thing is that it's just the eye candy, if you will. And you spend no time developing that, then you've wasted some time there, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, you wasted some time, so, and again, when you want to make the point of you like that he respects you, like he can, there's a difference between flirting and showing you're attracted to someone, and then you just being, just it's not rude, but what's the term you want to use? It's just like raunchy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you coming after me like with your tongue hanging out.
Right.
So there's a balance there.
Absolutely.
And she's feeling like, oh, Clarence respects me as a woman and he shows he's attracted, but it's the way he says it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. And so then Dr. Nicole does meet with Darian and Alexia.
Yes.
And we start to really get some other information as far as their root issues, right?
Right.
A couple of things that we found out is that one, of course, she wants kids, she wants marriage.
Yeah.
But part of what's driving that is that he has 3 kids by 2 baby mamas.
Right.
So somewhere within this 14-year relationship,
when they were broken up,
right? He went and had a different relationship.
Right.
Don't know how long it was or anything, but out of that, there are 3 children that are now on the scene, right? And so now she's like, okay, he did that with them.
Right.
I want that if we're going to be together and what have you.
Right.
And she brings up her age. She's like, we got a little window here for us to make this happen, right? And that's real talk.
I think it is real talk, But see, you have to make a decision. You decide to continue to be with someone off and on for 14 years. And she had a career, so she can't say, I was just waiting for him.
Right.
She had a career in basketball. She had a gift. She played overseas. So obviously she waited to have children, where he went on in life.
Yes.
And decided, for whatever reason, on purpose or not, to have kids, and he's enjoying his kids. Now that she's out of that career, she has to take account like it wasn't only him.
Right.
Because she makes it seem like, oh, he's already had kids.
Right.
Now he has to be on my time because now I'm ready to start a family, get married, and have kids. When she's not taking and looking at that in the whole perspective, I'm thinking.
So yeah, they kind of go back and forth at each other. Key issue there again, as we talked about a little earlier, is communication, right? She talks about the pictures that he paints with saying he's going to do one thing and then it not work out that way. It turns out differently, right? In the gaps in time. So he's a bad communicator as far as letting her know updates, right? Because I know one of the things that you and I, and I think early on, I would be like, okay, I'm going here. Just not that I'm checking in with you to be like, you need to know where I am, but just so you have an idea and have some confidence that I'm someplace, right?
Right.
And then, you would tell me I'm going here.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
But wasn't an issue.
Yeah, but I feel like you were a better communicator. For me, it'd be like, I could be gone. Don't feel like I need to check in and then show up. So it's something you also have to learn. So if you didn't have to do that in your past or in past relationships, then when you're at this relationship, someone's asking you to do something different. You need to follow through because it sounds like he was trying to be nice. Like, hey, babe, I'm working late, but I'm on my way home. One of their scenarios, and I'm going to grab something to eat. You want something.
Right.
And she's like, all right, come back. Yeah, bring it. So I'm starving, never hear from you. And then you come in at 8, there's no food.
Right.
So I would be hot too.
Right.
You set an expectation for me. You did it.
Right.
And didn't follow through.
Right. And so the fact that now that we get the picture that at some point there were these 2 other women that have now produced 3 kids, gives some understanding of why she jumps to, were you with another woman? Right. Because I don't know that would necessarily be the first thing I would jump to. Right. It would be, or were you in an accident? Right.
Right.
Were you okay? And then because he is in the music industry, because he may, in the studio, what have you,
comes with that undercurrent.
Did you all get into a vibe and you just,
Right.
So I don't know that jumping to you're cheating is the next logical without that added component of, okay, there have been at least 2 other women with, that have produced 3 kids. And we don't know other things that have happened in the relationship.
Well, he said he's never cheated.
Right.
She never indicates that he's cheated.
True.
They were broken up when he was in these other relationships.
True.
They never said they were in a consistent relationship for 14 years.
So then there's an insecurity there if your initial thing is you must be doing dirt.
Right.
Okay. All right. And so then we do see Sir James go on his date with LaRonda.
Yeah, they had a fine. I mean, the date was fine.
They went bowling.
Yeah.
They refer to Sean as the dragon.
Right.
Because
Because he was breathing down his neck while they're on the date.
yeah, if you watch episode 3, again, with episode 3, you see Sean just like constantly focus daggers on this thing over here.
Right.
And poor Brittany was just like,
okay, hello.
All right.
But,
so, all right. So then they all do finally meet with Dr. Nicole, kind of the debrief from the week. And again, we talk about Darian's gaps in time, what have you.
mm-hmm.
And Darian, again, brings up Alexia and her male friends that seem to bother him. Eric then makes some statements and when they're talking about him and Jessica, and he says this, he says, her advice is useless. And he was basically saying it from the aspect that, you know, I've already thought of all these things, and she only brings me something that I've already thought about, so it's useless.
I'm like, dude, okay, wow. I've never heard anybody ever say that about anybody in a relationship. I don't get it. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
First of all, you want someone's compatible, so they might think like you. So if I say something and you go, oh, my ideas, it's like, oh, I thought about that. But then I was like, this is my rebuttals of doing that. Then you can tell me, well, this is why I think it is a good idea.
Right.
So it's good to piggyback on someone maybe with the same perspective. Then you could ask the person, do you think you have any different ideas? Because I feel like I can't come up with any.
Right.
Give the person an opportunity to show you something different,
right.
you know? But you just going to dismiss what I say?
Yeah.
Okay, I get why she got a little attitude with him.
So I get what he was trying to communicate, but no, that's not how we say that, bro. Sorry.
What was he trying to communicate?
He was basically trying to say it doesn't add value because it's an idea I've already thought about, right? So to say it's useless is a more harsh way of saying it didn't have value. I think and again, I may be just trying to read too much into him. Okay. I think let me just say this.
You're just being politically correct.
The statement was wrong.
Yeah.
I get that, right.
So how are you understanding what he's saying?
I understand what he may have been trying to communicate. Listen. Can I just give a different opinion? Or is my opinion useless now?
You're not giving any different.
No,
I'm saying he could have said it better so she wouldn't have been hurt.
True. He could have said that it didn't add any extra value. Because listen, if I get the same information,
tomato.
If I'm looking at it, it may not necessarily add more value.
Okay. You're saying, he's like, it's not giving me any extended value than what I have.
Right.
Right.
Calm down. It's okay.
I just want to point out, you just made it seem nicer. Like she could take her medicine.
Can I at least give the brother a little defense? Give him a little rope to hang on to? For y'all just like...
I mean, he hung himself. You just made him
I'm just trying to hold him up a little so he don't hang himself too much, right? Dang.
She might decide not to hang up.
All right. So anyway.
Oh, boy.
All right. So then we start to get into the questions about next dates, right?
Yeah.
So LaRonda is not going to do a third date with Sir James, which from when she was on the date, she was like the confidence and the communication seemed to be okay. Their confidence in his laid back style. She seemed to like that and like that approach, but then now she's like, I don't want to do a third date with that. So I was a little confused about that, right?
I think they're confused.
I think LaRonda and Sean are they're too afraid that there's something else out there, so they're doing everything they can to avoid looking at something else.
Right.
I think that's really what's happening.
They're in a very complex relationship, I feel.
Right. So Sean, however, does do a third date with Brittany.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I'm jumping back in the hot water. I got to realize if I'm gonna do this process.
And I think he should, because I think he needs, like he was like realizing even with the second date he went with, he's like, oh, I can do this and not get in trouble with myself. So I'm like, yeah, have confidence in yourself that you can date someone in this process and not get in trouble.
Yeah. So, and then Jessica does not do a third date with Clarence, whose parents have a real good marriage. Shout out to 8 Mile. All right. And then Darian, of course, is now asked the question. Well, first of all, Dr. Nicole asked the question, as far as would Kai be someone that he would really be with?
Mm-hmm.
And he makes the statement, which I think is a valid statement.
Mm-hmm.
He makes the statement, if before he met Alexia,
Mm-hmm.
it would be an easy fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's not saying he would choose her over Alexia.
Right.
He's saying if he met her prior to Alexia,
right,
it would be an easy choice for him.
Right.
Right?
Which makes sense because he indicates that's my
That's
my
his style.
type. You know, we got a good if it's a good fit.
Right.
So, I mean, I think anything else he would have said, I would have said he was lying.
Right.
So he's very honest.
So then, of course, now it's, do you go on a fourth date with Kai? And Darian says, yep,
Yep.
we're going to do this.
Lion's Den.
I'm going back into the lion's den.
Yep.
See if I can come out.
Right.
And remember, we said at the beginning, Kai wanted him to go on a third date.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me. Alexia wanted him to go on a third date
Yeah.
with Kai.
Right.
She doesn't want that fourth date.
Nope.
She's like, nah, you done had your time. Nope.
Because Dr. Nicole asked her, how you feel about that? Okay. I'm going to tell you how I feel.
Eric, move your feet.
Eric, I need you to move. Not Darian. Eric, I need you to move your feet.
She's like, I don't want to scuff up your kicks, so move your feet out the way because I'm about to storm out of here.
She walks out. Okay, this is the problem, right? You got a second place. Someone's always relieving.
Wow, yeah.
Someone's always leaving, fleeing.
Yeah, that's good.
Instead of communicating, this is how I feel. Not his feelings, but directly like, man, I feel like I'm not the person for him.
Yeah.
I feel I've wasted my time in this relationship.
Yep.
I feel that now I'm at a certain age when I'm ready to have a family and be a wife. You are not ready. It's all those feelings that she's portraying, don't know how to share it and communicate it.
Mm-hmm.
So the easiest thing is just to walk away.
Right.
You know? So she storms out.
Yep.
And Darian's like, I guess I got to chase after.
Well, no. What happened is, I think it was Eric. Eric was like, you got to go, bro. Eric was like, look, I'm going to help you out. You need go chase her. You just hear this. You got to go, bro. So he walks out and follows after. Where are you going? What's your problem with this girl? Well, that's the wrong question to ask.
Right. It's not the problem with the girl. The question is, hey, I need you to express to me how you're feeling.
Right.
This is the reason why I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if they can't communicate, you can't get to that point.
Right.
You know, it's like they find some resolution, right? Because they told Dr. Nicole after they met,
yep.
Oh, Darian understands now that he needs to paint the picture.
Yep.
So Darian, after the conversation with Dr. Nicole, says, this is what happened. I was at the condo. I was doing good. I was going to leave. I fell asleep. And then when I woke up, I just came straight home after I fell asleep. She was comfortable with that.
Right.
She was like, oh.
Makes sense. Got it.
You should have just said that. So then now they're at another place where you'll think like, okay, he's painting a picture. He's proven again he's not cheating.
Right.
So it's like, why is the dots not connecting?
Right.
So he's not cheating here. He's never cheated on me in the past. So now that he's asking to go on this date for this girl for a fourth time, I know he's not going to cheat on me. But what do I need to do to help our relationship to improve?
Right.
And we lost it.
Yeah. So that's the end of that episode, right?
End.
So of course there's that cliffhanger that I think we saw the running out at in the trailer, of course.
Yeah, she's sitting in the car. He's trying to talk to her.
Yeah.
Trying to keep her off the ledge.
So we'll see how that works out. So all right, I'm ready to make some predictions as far as where these couples may end up. I know we're about halfway into it. I think Sean and LaRonda are going to stay together from the simple fact that they almost need each other.
Is that good?
It's not necessarily good. I'm just saying I think that they'll stay together, right? Okay. I think that we may see Darian and Alexia maybe venture out. Because I think 14 years, in some respects, I think 14 years is a long time to try and figure something out. And if you haven't figured it out at this point, and with the help of this process, I think that Darian is kind of getting a glimpse into what life could be without Alexia. So we'll see how that continues. I think it really does hinge upon how things progress with Kai.
Okay.
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 And then Eric and Jessica, I think that they'll stay together.
Okay.
I think that she's attached to him, right? I'll just put
Okay.
it that way. And so I think that they will stick together. I don't see too much conflict between them.
No, not enough. I think they just need a little bit of adjusting.
Right.
I think when we see this up and coming episode, we figure out what's going on underneath.
There may be some other things happening or have happened, right?
Yeah, so they're going to kind of reveal that and
Yes.
see where they need to go.
Yeah.
But I feel like he can potentially ask her,
Mhm.
to be his fiance.
Yeah. So that's my predictions so far.
Okay.
I didn't do so well last season, so we'll
We'll
because
see.
I did do on one. One I was like, yeah, I thought that they would end up at the end, and that was what's the girl's name?
Michael.
No, like
Don't have me lying.
Hollywood and whatever.
Ashley.
Ashley, yeah.
Mhm.
I kind of called that one. So, all right. So that's it for this one. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like, request notifications. Check out all the other videos that we have. We've got some other relationship tips out there.
Yes.
And Married at First Sight is about to start back up. So we're going to have commentary on that as well.
And don't forget our Instagram.
Yes.
With tips.
Conversations with the Crawleys. You can find us on Instagram, putting clips of these videos as well as other relationship tips and things to think about. All right. That's it for this time. Have a great one. Be blessed. We'll see you next time.